As we walk into Camp Review, welcome to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse. Oh God, we're going into the really weird cinema stuff again, and this is a really weird-ass movie, and it's also a drive-in story too, because our film today is Five Bloody Graves, directed by Al Adamson. And this one came out in 1969. I didn't have my driver's license then. We had seen this thing in an ad and we're not too sure what it was. Is it a horror movie? Is it a spaghetti western? Whatever. So anyway, Big Al was driving because he was a couple of years older than me, and he went to Orange High and I went to West Orange High, so he had graduated a couple of years ahead of me. So he had his license and I didn't. So a bunch of us were going to go up and see Five Bloody Graves, and I forgot what else was playing with it. Figuring we're in for a good time. Well, we weren't. This is kind of weird because it starts off kind of strange. There's a cowboy named Ben Thompson, a gunfighter, who actually Ben Thompson was a gunfighter. And there's this savage Indian, Santiago or something. And he's a Yaqui. And actually, if you look up Yaquis, they were peaceful Apaches. They should have just used Apaches, but for some reason, they used Yaquis. And the Yaquis want to kill everybody out. Now, this is being narrated by Death, okay? Like I told you, it's weird. Death is talking about following Ben Thompson because Ben Thompson finds him victims. The same with the Indian. So, this film was written and starred Robert Dix, who was the son of Richard Dix, a cowboy movie star. Also starred Scott Brady, John Carradine, and Bud Cardos as the Savage Indian. So it just sort of meanders onto this. And we were in the car talking, and when he came on, he goes, "What do you think, spaghetti western?" And I said, "I ain't sure, because I know they anglize credits and they use some American actors, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it's a horror movie. Maybe it's a horror western." Well, it was a mismatch of whatever, people getting killed, people getting shot with arrows. A stagecoach gets turned over with Scott Brady, and John Carradine is a preacher, and three women of ill repute. One of them gets killed. It just goes, meanders on until there's a final confrontation with Ben Thompson and Santiago the Indian, which Ben Thompson wins, and Death tells us that he's riding away to find some more victims. As soon as this movie ended, Big Al turned around and says, "We're going the fuck home." And I have found that it's usually not good to argue with Big Al when he's perturbed. And just breathing could perturb Big Al at times because he does not like to be bothered. And, you know, people said, "Well, was he really as nuts as you say he is?" Let me put it to you this way. We were at a fucking football game, and we were sitting on the top of the bleachers. And three of us were in a heated discussion about something and didn't realize that the national anthem was playing. So some intrepid soul had to run up to him out of the three of us and yell in his face, "You better fucking stand up for this national anthem, or I'm going to kick the shit out of you." Al just grabbed him by the throat and threw him off the bleachers. So yeah, he would do that stuff. Yeah, we left. It was a mess. Honestly, the film was meandering, dull. Few action sequences, very little of anything. I guess, you know, Scott Brady was probably a regular with Al at this time. And I think this thing might have been shot in '66, but not released up until '69. And, you know, I know Bud and Al were really tight, and Bud worked with him a lot. It's just really not that good. You know, I know there's a lot of people who really love Al's stuff, but this is kind of strange and weird because it just doesn't even work as a low-budget western. It's just sort of a mishmash of like somebody's idea that sort of went haywire. I think Bob Dix also wrote it. And you know, I had talked to Bob on the phone a couple times before he passed away, as I had talked to Bud a lot of times on the phone. So I had knew these guys, you know, somehow through Gary Kent, we were all kept in touch. So it's sad because they're all gone now except for Braden Clark. So you might want to see it, you might not want to see it. But anyway, you know, it's out there. I think, actually it ain't out there. You probably get the cheaper one that was out with Alternative Cinema. They had it. There's a bunch of them floating around on eBay cheap, but I think this is only available in that ridiculously overpriced box set from Severin, which is out of print right now, which kind of sucks because, you know, people want to see these movies. They don't want to pay $500 because you only made a limited edition and let the fucking thing go out of print, and then you maybe put out 3 or 4 movies from the set. That, my friend, is bullshit. A lot of people are thinking this is bullshit too. But hey, you know something? It's the only thing we got. It's the only thing we got. So that's our show for today. So thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the flip side.